We know my man's Josh Giddey and the Chicago Bulls have been going back and forth for a while now trying to get a contract done. But it looked like he ain't getting that 30 mil. So it's looking like Josh Giddey really has to sit there and face that harsh reality when it comes to these contract talks. So you know we're gonna talk about that. And then the Chicago Bulls preseason schedule is out. We're gonna end the show with that topic. But before we get it in and talk about it and break it all down, you know, you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on another daily episode. So if you're tuned in, locked in, and ready to talk this Bulls basketball, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But hey, I'm really looking at my man's Josh Giddey and saying that, hey, my man's. You gotta just go out there and face the harsh reality when it comes to this contract negotiations. Right now, the Chicago Bulls, they hold all the leverage. Josh Giddey can piggyback on some things, but I'm really looking at the Chicago Bulls as them holding all of the leverage when it comes to the contract negotiations going on between them and Josh Giddey. And ESPN Jamal's Collier even chimed into this type of situation and said Josh Giddey and the Bulls official have had positive contract talks recently, and the expectation is the two sides will eventually come to an agreement. And then we also heard KC Johnson, recently give an update with the contract talks and pretty much say that the Bulls have told Josh Giddey they are standing firm with not giving him $30 million. And I'm paraphrasing. You can go ahead and check out the clip on your own if you want like the full, clean, exact version. But the paraphrase version, the short version to go ahead and give it to you is that he said they sat down. He had dinner with Billy Donovan. They let him know that they still want him in the building. They talked with each other, had some meetings, and they still let him know he ain't getting 30 mil. So the harsh reality is that this Josh Giddey, I understand it. I understand my people that's listening to this right now when going out there and saying that Josh Giddey deserves that 30 mil. And I understand the other side of the discussion for people who's like, hey, we got to get him on a team friendly deal. And we had this discussion, me and C Dub, and we had the discussion, and it was like, okay, do you take the 25 game sample size to where it was damn near a triple double for Josh Giddey? And do you say we can bank on that? Some people will. I'm not personally not. I'm not going to go out there and say that 25 games is enough to go out there and say, yes, we're going to check you off for $30 million. It's the same thing it's the same standard that I hold myself to when I talk about guys like Kobe White. When I look at Kobe White, I say, hey, Kobe White is an outstanding player. But Kobe White, for me, to consider him taking that next level, I need a consistently good season. A few years ago, my man's Kobe White started off the season hot. The NBA adjusted. Kobe White kind of struggled a little bit ending off that season. Last season, my man's Kobe White, he was still getting his averages, but it wasn't as efficient or as clean as I would have liked it or consistently as I would have liked it when it came to my evaluation. And then he ended the season on a very high note. So we're getting a bunch of roller coaster ride. And then you're looking at it like, hey, what's Kobe White's absolute ceiling? Right now, I think Kobe White still has another level to go, but he's going to have to do that by being a consistently good player. We know that he can go out and win player of the month. We know that he can go out there and win player of the week. But if he wants to go out there and, let's say, have a fighting chance of becoming an all-star for the sake of discussion, it has to be consistently good for a longer duration of time. The same thing could be said about Josh Giddey. We get the 25 games he balled out, but what we cannot omit what transpired in October, November, and December before he started to turn it around in January, right before Zach LaVine was traded from the Chicago Bulls. So I kind of understand the Chicago Bulls in this regard. And I will throw this out there too. The shit that y'all did for Patrick Williams should not be coming into play when it comes for Josh Giddey, period. Just because you bozos made the ultimate decision to go out there and extend Patrick Williams and not let the market speak for him, that was a mistake by the Chicago Bulls front office. The most dumbest shit that I ever heard in my life was they thought that they can motivate Patrick Williams by giving him an extension. No, you idiot. You motivate the guy by saying you ain't getting shit if you don't play right. You don't go out there and pay a motherfucker for doing nothing. That makes no sense. So now they're using that tactic. They're using that situation to now somehow be smarter in contract negotiations, and you know what I'm saying, and kind of utilizing that to a degree on Josh Giddey. It's a bit unfair, but hey, you learn from your mistakes, right? So you look at that situation, you say the Chicago Bulls are now moving with a sense of intelligence, at least momentarily, because again, though Josh Giddey was exciting for those 25 games, you still want to see a consistently good Josh Giddey for a longer period of time so you don't get yourself trapped in certain situations. And for perspective, for my people that's wondering about the 30 mil, I know that we've seen guys like Emmanuel Quickly get it a couple years ago or a year ago, and Jalen Suggs get it last year. But as of right now, nobody has been getting big money on, y'all. Nobody has been getting big money on. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but the only thing, and I pulled this from Jamal Collier's article, he pretty much said, for perspective, the only free agent thus far who signed a contract worth at least $30 million was Kyrie Irving. Nobody else signed for $30 million. I don't necessarily know if it's the second apron whooping teams' ass, or teams just like, we ain't paying that much money, or they trying to shrink the amount of money that they're giving said players who are not necessarily proven. And you have to understand that. And I do to a degree. And when it comes to Josh Giddey, we're going to go back on that with the 30 mil. Like, bruh, you've been a restricted free agent and it's not looking good for you at all. It's not looking good for you, Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Cam Thomas. All you guys want 30. Y'all ain't getting it. And I get it. Y'all playing hardball right now. But again, facing the harsh reality is saying, I need to see what the Chicago Bulls are willing to give me. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say that you should absolutely go out there and just say to hell with the Chicago Bulls. That's a decision for yourself. But Josh Giddey, if you sign a qualifying offer, you're playing this upcoming season for $11 million. Is that something that you would like to do? Or are you going to go out there and look at the situation and say, okay, let's just say, the sake of discussion, the Chicago Bulls are offering me $24 million a year. Okay. I take I'm $6 million off my 30. Take the money on, right? And take lesser years. So now you can re-up and now you can get the big bag. The big bag. So instead of being locked in for annual average of $30 million for 5 years, get locked in for that 22, 24 for 2-3 years. And then you come back after that third year like, I want my money. And if you live up to that expectation, the Chicago Bulls ain't got no choice. Or you can go ahead and take your talents elsewhere to a team that will respect you and what you have put in. But you absolutely got to put it out there, because the market has spoken on all the restricted free agents. Y'all ain't getting no offers. Y'all ain't getting no offers. Jonathan Kuminga still sitting there looking crazy. You, Josh Giddey, still sitting there looking crazy. Cam Thomas still looking crazy. Like, y'all, and like, I get it. When you look at your qualifying offer compared to the other guys that are restricted free agents, you making the most money if you sign a qualifying offer. But that does not guarantee long-term stability. And I understand the discussion that when people come back and say, hey, what if Josh Giddey go out there, ball out, and walk away next season? That's the decision that the Chicago Bulls are going to have to make. It ain't enough for me. And that's a decision that Josh Giddey is going to have to make for himself as well. If you go out there, you ball out, and somebody come along next year and they got the money for it, and you say to hell with them, I'm gone, that's your decision, bro. And it's gonna be a total gut punch to the Chicago Bulls who didn't lock them up. But those are the decisions that you live with in these type of contract talks and negotiations. It's the same thing that happens when you go out there, you take a job, you do so damn well that you feel like you have been doing, let's just say, an entry level job at a managerial level job, but at the current job that you got after being there for a year, you haven't been promoted yet. You're going to start to apply to another job for the managerial role because you want that increase in salary. So the same thing can be said here. Hey, you go out there, you allow Josh Giddey to get better, and the Chicago Bulls could potentially drop the ball and he can walk. It can absolutely happen. It can absolutely happen. But however, I don't think it is. I don't think it will happen. I think that my man's gonna come to terms with it. I think that the Chicago Bulls and Josh Giddey are gonna get a deal done. I think that Josh Giddey, his side, is gonna play this thing out smartly. We're not gonna sign for 5 years. We'll take probably a 2 or 3 year deal, prove ourselves, come back, and now you got to call for more money. I think that's the way to go because right now it's just too many questions, too many variables that Josh Giddey is battling right now to justify the $30 million. I get it. Hey, you might come back on the back end and have to pay more money, but come on now. You can't. I understand the argument for not trying to pay a guy after just seeing 25 games. I understand the discussion with saying that the market is not saying you're worth $30 million. I understand the discussion of saying that, hey, if you let him play on the qualifying offer, he can walk. I understand it all. But the facing the harsh reality is he needs to lock up the bag. Lock up the bag. Don't be a Dennis Schroeder. Remember, Dennis Schroeder was getting offered at the time a really high contract, 84. I think it was like $84 million contract for the Los Angeles Lakers. He declined it. I think he played on a qualifying offer and was out the damn dough making less money than what previously happened. Y'all correct me wrong on that, but I think it went something like that. But I know that for a fact. Dennis Schroeder dropped the bag. That's what we do know for a fact. Josh Giddey, I'm not saying this is the same situation, but the market has spoken. The Chicago Bulls are standing on business. Make your decision, my boy. Make your decision. That's all I say. But hey, before we get up out of it, we got to talk about the Chicago Bulls preseason schedule being released. This being released, we're gonna be seeing the Cavs 2 times. We will see the Milwaukee Bucks, and we will see the Denver Nuggets and the T-Wolves. So that's gonna be some interesting stuff. It's gonna be some interesting stuff to see. Hey, I'm excited for it. I might have to pull up and see what's to it. Y'all already know this gonna be cracking this season. We're gonna learn a lot about the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season. You feel me? We're gonna learn a lot. And those games start in October, by the way. So October 7th, they face off against the Cavs. October 9th, they face off against the Cavs. October 12th, the Bucks. October 14th, the Nuggets. October 16th, the T-Wolves. So a really, really tough preseason, just how I like it. Don't take it easy on this squad. Let us figure it out early. If we need to be pivoting, let us figure it out early. But other than that, man, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me know which game y'all be most excited for, at least in the preseason. I want to see my man's Montes Buzelis take advantage of the Cavs early and often, and Lonzo Ball gonna be there cracking. Let's see. But hey, y'all, that is it for me today, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Before y'all roll up out of here, give me that go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for your boy. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, and y'all already know I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.